For centuries, the Galactic Union had watched Earth from afar. Hidden behind distant stars and cloaked by advanced technology, they had been studying the small blue planet with great interest. To them, humanity was a young and reckless species, brave but foolish, clever but undisciplined. The Council believed that humans would be easy to control when the time was right. They waited patiently, recording every war, every invention, every mistake. Humans had built cities, discovered science, and even reached into space. But compared to the vast power of the Galactic Union, they were still seen as primitive. Like children playing with fire, they were entertaining to watch, but not yet dangerous. In a grand hall floating in orbit around a red star, the Council of Elders gathered once more. They reviewed new reports about Earth's progress. The Council agreed. The time had come to integrate Earth into the galactic system. But they decided that humans would not be invited. Instead, Earth would be taken quietly, its resources used, its people guided without them ever knowing. Alien probes were deployed around the planet. Thousands of tiny machines, invisible to the human eye, floated in orbit. They tapped into Earth's communication networks, listening to every phone call, every broadcast, every satellite transmission. They mapped human behavior, predicted future inventions, and even tracked emotional patterns across nations. From the shadows, the galaxy's finest minds prepared to make their move. At first, everything went according to plan. The probes sent back endless streams of data. Humans remained unaware, busy with their daily struggles. Nations fought among themselves. Scientists chased new dreams without knowing they were being watched. The Council grew confident. Soon, Earth would belong to them, just like hundreds of other planets before it. But then, something strange happened. One by one, the probes began to fall silent. First, a few probes in Earth's outer orbit stopped transmitting. It was easy to dismiss. Perhaps a technical error, a cosmic storm, or simple equipment failure. But soon, larger groups of probes went dark. Whole sectors of the surveillance network became blind spots overnight. Inside the Council's command center, alarms began to sound. Technicians scrambled across glowing platforms, trying to re-establish connections. They sent emergency signals to the probes, but there was no response. The machines were not just damaged, they were gone, as if they had never existed. The head of the Council, an ancient being named Vrixer, stood in silence, his many eyes narrowed. "This is no accident," he said in a voice that sent shivers down the spines of those around him. "Something on Earth has noticed us." Panic spread like wildfire. Had the humans somehow developed technology to detect the probes? Impossible, many said. Humanity was still decades, maybe centuries, away from understanding galactic science. But facts could not be denied. The surveillance network was collapsing, and no one knew how. Secret emergency meetings were called. Some leaders suggested sending warships to Earth immediately to take control before the humans could react. Others urged caution, afraid of provoking the species that had just proven it could detect and destroy galactic tech. Questions filled the air. Had humans built something unknown? Had they found help from another alien race? Were they smarter or more dangerous than anyone had guessed? The Council debated furiously. Time was slipping away. Every hour that passed, more probes vanished, and the black spots around Earth grew larger. The full picture of human activity faded into darkness, leaving the galaxy blind and uncertain. In one quiet corner of Earth, hidden deep within a mountain facility, a small group of human scientists celebrated. They had done the impossible. They had detected the Watchers. Years of secret research, hidden from governments and the public alike, had finally paid off. Using a combination of strange energy patterns and AI algorithms, they had spotted the invisible machines floating in the sky, and they had acted. Quietly, without warning, they had severed the connection. Earth was no longer under silent observation. Now, it was a planet hidden behind a curtain that no alien eyes could easily pierce. The humans said nothing publicly. There were no grand speeches, no warnings broadcast to the stars. Instead, they watched and waited, just as the galaxy had once watched them. Above them, in the darkness of space, fear took root among beings who once considered themselves the masters of the universe. For the first time in thousands of years, the Galactic Union felt a cold, unfamiliar emotion. Uncertainty, and deep beneath Earth's surface, humanity prepared for whatever came next. Deep inside the mountain facility, the human scientists worked without rest. They knew they had only one chance. The moment they severed the alien connection, Earth had stopped being a silent, helpless world. Now, it was a player in a bigger, more dangerous game. The leader of the project was a man named Dr. Elias Grant. He had spent most of his life studying strange energy signals that no one else believed were real. Laughed at by universities, ignored by governments, Elias had built his own team in secret, a team made up of brilliant minds, outsiders, and believers. Now, their gamble had paid off. Inside a large underground room, filled with humming machines and glowing screens, Elias stood before his team. His voice was calm but firm. "They know we see them," he said, "and soon they'll come." Everyone knew what he meant. The aliens, whoever they were, would not ignore this act. Earth had revealed its hand. The humans had made the first move. But instead of fear, a strange energy filled the room. Excitement. Hope. For the first time, humanity was no longer prey. They were standing up. Elias outlined the next step. They would build a shield, not a physical one, but an invisible barrier around Earth. Using the strange energy patterns they had discovered, they would create a field that would block alien scans and sensors. The shield would make Earth look like a dead world, empty and abandoned. It was risky. If it failed, the aliens would see it as a threat and attack immediately. If it worked, Earth could buy precious time. Time to understand, prepare, and maybe even strike back. The team moved quickly. Massive towers were secretly constructed across remote places on the planet. Deep forests, icy mountains, forgotten deserts. Each tower was hidden from human eyes and protected by powerful defenses. From these points, the energy shield would rise. Meanwhile, in space, the Galactic Council watched helplessly. They sent scout ships to Earth's orbit, hoping to re-establish surveillance. But every ship that approached found itself blinded. Instruments failed. Navigation systems spun out of control. Ships disappeared without a trace. Vrixar, the council leader, was furious. "How can this be?" he roared during an emergency meeting. "They are primitives. They should not even understand we exist." But they did. And worse, they were fighting back in ways the council had never seen before. The council debated sending a full invasion fleet to crush Earth immediately. But fear held them back. If humans had already hidden their planet from galactic eyes, what else could they do? No one wanted to be the first to provoke a species that might be more dangerous than anyone had imagined. On Earth, Elias and his team monitored the energy shield's progress. The readings were unstable at first, flickering like a candle in a storm. Then, slowly, the shield grew stronger, wrapping the planet in a web of invisible power. Late one night, as Elias stared at the glowing map showing the shield's expansion, one of his assistants approached him. "Sir," she said, her voice trembling, "there's something you need to see." She handed him a tablet. On the screen was a signal, faint, broken, but clearly not human. It was a message from the aliens. Elias read the decoded words carefully. His heart pounded. "Surrender. Cease your actions. You are not prepared for what comes next." He smiled grimly. They were afraid. "They want us to stop," Elias said, showing the message to the others. "They're bluffing." Around him, the team nodded. They had come too far to back down now. Instead of responding, Elias ordered the shield's final activation. A pulse of energy swept across the globe, silent and invisible. From that moment, Earth vanished from galactic sensors. To the watching council, it was as if Earth had never existed. No signals, no life signs, no transmissions. Silence. In the Galactic Council chamber, horror spread. The humans had not just noticed them. They had cut themselves off entirely, by their own power. And worse, no one knew what the humans were doing behind that shield. On Earth, Elias stood before a quiet group of scientists and soldiers. "We are not the hunted anymore," he said. "We are the storm." Outside the hidden base, the world continued as if nothing had changed. But high above, in the cold darkness of space, the galaxy trembled, and humanity prepared for its next move. In the heart of the Galactic Council, fear turned into anger. The loss of Earth's signals was not just a small problem. It was a direct challenge to their authority. Never before had a primitive world fought back. Never before had a species dared to cut off the Council's reach. Council leader Vrixer slammed his clawed fist on the crystal table. "This cannot be allowed," he shouted. "If one world rebels, others will follow. We must crush them, now." Around him, the representatives of 100 alien species sat in silence. Many agreed with Vrixer. But deep down, there was fear. What if humans had already developed weapons beyond their understanding? What if Earth's disappearance was not an act of fear, but a trap? The Council's top strategists gathered secretly. They debated options. Should they launch a massive attack fleet? Should they send covert assassins? Should they simply wipe out Earth from orbit? Every plan carried risks. Finally, they agreed on a hidden move. Instead of a full invasion, they would send a stealth team, a group of elite agents from different species, trained in infiltration and silent elimination. Their mission was simple: enter Earth, find out what the humans were hiding, destroy their shield from inside. The Council believed that Earth was still a weak, confused planet. They thought a small, invisible strike could fix everything. They were wrong. Far away, deep underground, Dr. Elias Grant and his team were preparing for what they knew was coming. They had intercepted faint transmissions, encrypted signals not meant for human ears. Elias stared at the decoded message on the giant screen. "Infiltration team. Arrival in 2 days," he read aloud. The humans didn't panic. They had been waiting for this. Commander Sophia Reyes, leader of the Earth Defense Division, stepped forward. "They think they can just walk into our world," she said. "We'll show them they made a mistake." Teams were activated across the planet. Hidden agents, scientists, and soldiers, all ready. Earth was no longer a world of bystanders. It had become a battlefield in waiting. The shield network, now stronger than ever, not only hid Earth but also worked as a trap. Any foreign object that crossed into Earth's atmosphere would be tracked instantly. Unknown to the Galactic Council, every move of their incoming team was already being watched. 2 days later, a silent ship, blacker than space itself, slipped through the shield using ancient stealth technology. On board were 6 beings, each from a different world, each deadly in their own way. They landed in the snowy mountains of northern Earth, believing they were undetected. The leader, a cold and calculating creature named Axar Quill, gave the first order. "Find the source of the shield," he hissed. "Destroy it. Kill anyone who resists." They moved like shadows, using advanced cloaking suits to hide from human eyes. But Elias and Sophia were ready. Using newly developed detection tech, the humans tracked every step the infiltrators took. It was like watching insects crawl into a web. Commander Sophia sent out her best team, the Phantom Division, trained for silent combat against unknown threats. As the aliens made their way toward the nearest shield tower hidden in the mountains, they didn't know they were being hunted. One by one, the shadows around them grew tighter. The temperature dropped. Strange sounds echoed in the snowy air. Quill's second in command, a reptilian scout, paused. "Something is wrong," he growled. Too late. From the white mist, human operatives struck with precision. Silenced weapons, energy nets, pulse traps. Within minutes, 3 of the infiltrators were captured alive, and the others were dead. The leader, XR Quill, realized they had fallen into a perfect trap. He tried to activate his emergency transmitter, a beacon to call for help, but the device was already fried by a human-made energy surge. He stared at the humans surrounding him, quiet, determined, and unafraid. In that moment, Quill understood the terrible truth. Humans were not just reacting. They were leading. Captured, wounded, and humiliated, Quill was dragged into a hidden facility for interrogation. Far above Earth, in the council chambers, silence fell as they received the final chilling report. Infiltration team. Failed. Earth. Unknown capabilities. Recommendation. Extreme caution. Council leader Vrixar crushed the report in his hands. He had underestimated them. They all had. Earth was no longer a lost, backward world. It was a rising force, and the galaxy had just made a dangerous enemy. Deep inside the Earth's hidden command centers, the victory over the alien infiltration team was only the beginning. Commander Sophia Rice stood before a giant map of Earth. Red dots showed possible alien activity. Blue zones showed where humans had already secured control. She looked at Dr. Elias Grant, who was typing rapidly on a touchscreen. "They know we are not helpless," Sophia said. "But now they will come harder. Bigger forces. We need to be ready." Elias nodded. "It's time to reveal what we've been working on." For years, after detecting the first signs of alien surveillance, humanity had been building something in secret, something even their own governments had kept hidden from the public. A weapon not of destruction, but of control. They called it Project Aegis. Project Aegis was not a single device. It was a network, satellites, ground stations, deep-sea reactors, all connected into one living shield. It could manipulate space signals. It could jam, redirect, or completely erase alien technology that entered Earth's system. Most importantly, it could strike back. Elias pulled up a hologram of Project Aegis. "We designed it to defend," he said quietly. "But if needed, it can also attack." Sophia smiled. "A rare thing." "Good. Let's make them regret ever looking at Earth." Far above Earth, the Galactic Council had decided to stop playing games. In orbit, a fleet of heavy warships appeared. Dark hulks armed with weapons that could shatter planets. Their leader, Admiral Krex, was a veteran of 100 wars. His orders were clear. Break Earth's resistance. Force surrender. Krex looked at Earth through his ship's glass window. "Such a small planet," he muttered. "It won't last a single hour." He ordered his ships into position. Thousands of missiles, plasma cannons, and quantum disruptors charged up, all pointed at Earth's surface. Down below, Earth's top leaders had already predicted this move. The shield network went into full lockdown. Project Aegis activated. Hidden antennas across mountains, oceans, and deep underground bases started humming. Invisible energy waves spread through the atmosphere. As the first alien missile was fired, something strange happened. It never reached the ground. Instead, it twisted midair, lost its speed, and exploded harmlessly above the clouds. Krex frowned. He ordered more attacks. But every missile, every energy beam, every plasma shot was caught, redirected, or neutralized by Project Aegis. From his command chair, Krex roared with rage. "How are they doing this?" Then, Earth answered. Without warning, a powerful pulse shot out from Earth's shield, straight into the alien fleet. At first, it looked harmless, just a bright flash. But then systems on Krex's ships started shutting down. Weapons went offline. Engines froze. Communications became static. One by one, the giant warships lost control. Some began drifting helplessly. Others spun out of formation. A few collided, bursting into silent explosions in the blackness of space. Inside his crippled ship, Krex realized the horrifying truth. Earth was not fighting back with weapons. Earth was controlling the battlefield itself. Back on Earth, Commander Sophia watched the live feed. She leaned closer to the screen and whispered, "Welcome to the new rules." Dr. Elias allowed himself a small smile. "We haven't even shown them the second phase yet." Sophia nodded. "Let them panic first." Across the galaxy, when news of the defeat spread, panic and fear gripped the Galactic Council. Never, in the history of the stars, had a primitive world destroyed an entire invasion fleet without firing a single traditional weapon. Council leader Vrixer slammed his claws into the table once again. "This cannot be. Earth must be stopped. If we fail now, we lose the galaxy itself." Around him, whispers started. Maybe Earth had help from an ancient power. Maybe Earth had discovered forbidden technologies. Maybe Earth was something far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. Plans of war turned into plans of fear. Now the question was no longer how to conquer Earth. It was how to survive what was coming. Deep underground, Sophia, Elias, and the Earth Defense Division began preparing the next stage. Earth was no longer the hunted. Now, Earth was becoming the hunter. And the galaxy had no idea what was about to hit them. The galaxy was no longer laughing at Earth. After the destruction of Admiral Krex's fleet, fear spread like fire across the stars. The Galactic Council, once proud rulers of thousands of worlds, sat in silence, unsure of their next move. On Earth, Commander Sophia Rice stood inside the underground war room, watching a holographic map of the galaxy. Red markers showed enemy strongholds. Blue circles showed Earth's growing zones of influence. Dr. Elias Grant tapped a few keys and pulled up secret intelligence. "The Council is trying to regroup," he said. "They're calling reinforcements from distant sectors." Sophia folded her arms. "Good. Let them gather. We'll strike harder." Humanity was no longer on defense. They were preparing to take the war into space itself. In secret, Earth had been building more than Project Aegis. Hidden deep in Earth's oceans and mountains, the Exodus fleet had been growing. Massive starships designed not just for travel, but for domination. Each ship carried human soldiers, engineers, scientists, all trained for space warfare. Each vessel was armed with new technologies that could disable, control, or destroy alien fleets without traditional weapons. Launch day arrived. Across hidden bases worldwide, countdowns echoed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Exodus fleet rose from the Earth like thunder. Great ships broke through the atmosphere, leaving trails of fire and light behind them. To the people of Earth, they looked like angels. To the galaxy, they would soon look like demons. Commander Sophia stood on the bridge of the flagship, the Resolute. "All systems go," Elias reported. Sophia gave the order. "Take us to the enemy." The ships jumped into hyperspace, leaving Earth behind, not in fear, but in power. Far away, the Galactic Council was scrambling. New fleets were rushed into position. Allies were called from every corner of the galaxy. Ancient mercenaries were hired at impossible prices, but it didn't matter. Humanity's fleet moved like a ghost in the stars, invisible to scanners, faster than light, smarter than anything the galaxy had ever faced. One by one, the Council's secret bases fell. Defense systems crumbled. Command stations went silent. The humans didn't just fight. They crippled the enemy before the first shot was ever fired. In a hidden council chamber on the planet Evrax 9, the leaders gathered for an emergency meeting. Council leader Vrixer slammed his fist on the table. "They were supposed to be primitive," he roared. "How did this happen?" A pale advisor whispered, "They evolved, in ways we never imagined." Panic filled the room. Some council members spoke of surrender. Others suggested retreat. A few talked of hiding their worlds and cutting ties with Earth forever. But it was too late. At that moment, The Resolute entered orbit above Ivrax 9. Human forces deployed in minutes. Commander Sophia Reyes stood in the main hall of the enemy's capital, her boots clicking on the marble floor. Galactic soldiers dropped their weapons as she passed. Council leader Vrixer was dragged before her, his pride broken. Sophia looked down at him with cold eyes. "You thought Earth would be easy to conquer," she said. "You thought wrong." Vrixer tried to speak, but no words came. Sophia turned and addressed the crowd of alien leaders. "Earth does not seek revenge," she said, her voice firm. "But we will never be slaves. We will never bow." She paused. "And we will never forget." The message was broadcast across the galaxy. Earth was no longer a forgotten planet. It was a new power, fierce, brilliant, and unstoppable. Across alien worlds, statues of Earth's heroes were built. Songs were written about the battle of the Silent War. The story of humanity's rise became legend. In the end, it was not Earth that was brought into the Galactic Union. It was the galaxy that was forced to accept Earth's rule. Humanity had cut the line, broken the plans, and built something greater from the ashes, a future where Earth would never again be underestimated. And somewhere, far beyond the known stars, ancient civilizations stirred. They had been watching Earth too, and they were smiling, because they knew the galaxy had just gotten a lot more interesting. Months passed after humanity's victory over the Galactic Council. Earth became a respected name across the stars. Alien races sent envoys, ambassadors, and gifts. Treaties were signed. Allies were made. Humanity's Exodus fleet patrolled the galaxy, keeping peace where once chaos ruled. Commander Sophia Reyes was now Admiral Reyes, the first human to lead a galactic alliance fleet. Everything seemed peaceful. But peace, they learned, was an illusion. One night, deep inside the command center of the Resolute, an urgent message arrived. It wasn't from any known sector. The encryption was ancient, older than anything in Earth's records. Dr. Elias Grant tried to decode it, his face tense. This isn't from the Council," he whispered. Admiral Reyes leaned over his shoulder. "Then who?" Finally, the code broke. A single sentence appeared on the screen. "You have made too much noise, Earthlings. We are coming." Across the galaxy, old machines woke from deep slumber. Planets that had been quiet for thousands of years suddenly flickered with strange energy. Something ancient, something powerful, something that even the Galactic Council had feared. Whispers traveled through the stars. The sleepers have awakened. Back on Earth, secret emergency meetings were called. Top scientists, military leaders, and historians gathered. "What are the sleepers?" Sophia asked. An old historian stepped forward, her voice trembling. "They are not a race," she said. "They are a force, older than the galaxy itself." Sophia frowned. "Are they hostile?" The old woman nodded. "They are not evil. But they believe in balance. If one species becomes too strong, they erase it." A cold silence filled the room. Across hidden monitoring stations, alerts flashed. Gigantic ships, black as void, were moving through deep space. Slowly, relentlessly, toward Earth. No messages, no negotiations, just a steady approach. Admiral Reyes stood at the front of the war room. "We fought the Council," she said. "We fought the galaxy." She pointed at the incoming fleet on the holographic display. "Now we fight the legends." All across Earth and its allied worlds, defenses were raised. New weapons were prepared. Scientists raced to develop countermeasures. For the first time in history, humanity faced an enemy they did not understand. An enemy that might not be defeated by strength or technology alone. As the first of the ancient ships entered sensor range, humanity held its breath. Would this be their end, or the beginning of a new legend? In the darkness of space, the stars seemed to whisper, "The real war has just begun." The sky above Earth darkened. Even in daylight, strange shadows crossed the clouds. The ancient ships, larger than continents, had arrived. They hovered beyond the moon, silent and cold. No communication, no demands, just waiting. Admiral Sophia Rice stood before Earth's Defense Council. "We cannot wait," she said. "They have come to erase us. We must act first." The council members nodded grimly. The Exodus fleet, humanity's pride, was fully armed and ready. Thousands of ships, billions of lives, all prepared to fight for survival. Across Earth's cities, people gathered, watching the skies. Some prayed, some cried, some just stood silent, their hearts heavy with fear. But no one ran. Not this time. Inside the Resolute, the command center buzzed with activity. Dr. Elias Grant studied the enemy ships. "They don't have weak points," he said quietly. "No weapons we understand." Admiral Rice clenched her fists. "Then we make our own path." She gave the order. "Launch all fighters. Prepare the Exodus." The fleet roared into space like a silver tide. As humanity approached the dark ships, a strange energy filled the air. Pilots reported seeing visions, dreams of lost civilizations, planets swallowed by darkness. Fear crept into the bravest hearts. But they pushed forward. The first volley was launched. Missiles, plasma beams, railguns, Earth's best weapons, struck the ancient ships. They did nothing. The dark ships shimmered, absorbing the attacks like stones thrown into a lake. Then they responded. Without a sound, beams of pure void energy lanced out. Entire ships vanished, not exploded, not destroyed, simply erased from existence. The fleet staggered. Alarms screamed. Pilots screamed. But still, humanity fought. Admiral Rice stood firm on the bridge. She knew retreat meant extinction. "Elias," she shouted, "find me a way to hurt them." Dr. Grant's fingers flew across his console. There's a frequency," he gasped. "A resonance, deep inside the ships. Maybe we can overload it." "Do it," Sophia ordered. Across the fleet, new orders were given. Weapons were recalibrated. Engines tuned to hum at the hidden frequency. One by one, humanity's ships became instruments of a new weapon: sound. They launched another attack, not with missiles, but with vibrations. The dark ships trembled. Cracks appeared on their smooth surfaces. Black energy leaked like blood. The ancient machines shrieked, not in sound, but in the mind. Everyone heard it, a terrible, cold howl of rage. Earth's fleet pressed the attack. Ship after ship rammed into the enemy, sacrificing themselves to crack the armor. Explosions lit up the darkness like new stars. Bit by bit, the invincible ships broke apart. But victory had a price. Thousands of brave souls perished. The Exodus fleet was in ruins. The skies above Earth were filled with burning debris. Finally, as the last dark ship crumbled into nothingness, silence fell. Admiral Rice stood in the wreckage of her bridge, blood on her face, pride in her heart. She looked toward Earth, still spinning silently in the distance. "We are still here," she whispered. "No force, ancient or new, could erase humanity. Not today. Not ever."